Hello everyone, welcome to the Times of India Facebook live chat. I am Vijay Lakshmi Tiwari and today we have with us the good looking, charming and extremely talented actor Imran Hashmi. Imran, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Imran, your film Azhar released last week and it has got a great response at the box office. So just tell us, how does it feel?
Well, thanks to all the fans. It's a film that we've been working on for the longest time. We've got a phenomenal response to the film. Everyone's loving the character. Obviously, the film was very controversial, extremely inspirational at times also. So we were a bit nervous before the release because of the whole controversial angle. But we're very happy with the reception, and I've been getting tweets, Facebook updates, I've been getting emails for the past week about the character, the way I've played it, and how close it is to the way Azhar Bhai is, how he plays, and how he is generally his body language and everything about the performance. So it's very overwhelming for any actor, for our entire team. We've been working on the film for almost a year and a half, and so very happy.
So any plans? How do we plan to celebrate the success of the film?
Well,
or have you already done?
Well, of course, with friends and family 2 days back, and of course yesterday was my wife's birthday, so we celebrated. The celebrations kick off again tonight. I leave for Koh Samui with friends, and we're there for a week. The celebrations are going to be pretty much due, and everything will be there. And once I come back, there'll be a book launch, which is on the 30th. That is the book launch of The Kiss of Life in Mumbai, and then with my wife and son Ayan, we go off to the States. We're going after the 10th of June.
Imran, there were rumors and apparently that you were not very sure about the film when you were offered because it was based on Azharuddin's life, and when we think about Azhar, the first few things that come into our mind is about the match-fixing controversy, about his relationship with Sangeeta. So when you were offered the role, were you immediately picked to do the role, or you took time?
No, actually, I was the person who dived in without thinking, and it was Azhar Bhai who was slightly skeptical because I remember the call had come to me back in 2014 when the script wasn't written, and it was purely an idea that Ekta said that we're doing a biopic on Azharuddin's life, and I said I don't want to hear the script. I'm on for it. And then of course the first draft was written in a couple of months. That was presented to Azhar Bhai. Azhar Bhai said no. He said no because of course he had been through the entire match fixing controversy for 12 years. He was fighting a court case. He came out of that. He didn't want the audience to be reminded of it again. But then when the final draft was written, he okayed it. I think apart from him, everyone on the team was gung-ho about it. We went full throttle from the first idea. We said that it's a biopic on Azharuddin. Everyone on our team has followed it, has been a big fan of his. Of course, we understood also that there is the criticism against Azhar Bhai even after he was acquitted from the courts.
Right.
There's still a section of the audience that felt that he has done it and he is guilty. But we went with the court case's verdict, and we were very sure that the vindication, he's got his vindication, so we should make the story around that. And it's more than just the match fixing episode. It is about how he became the captain of the team, what his life was in Hyderabad before he came in to the team. So all those things that made it very interesting and exciting.
But at any point of the time while shooting the film, did you ever think कि इतनी सारी controversies जुड़ी है, what will be the result? Will the audience accept a biography or a person who has a controversial life?
That was not at the back of my mind. Once I said yes to the film, I don't think about these things. If there is any doubt in my mind, then those are things I like to introspect before I do a film. So once I taken the decision to it, and we started off shooting, training actually last year for cricket since Jan, and we started shooting in June. It's almost a year. I didn't think about this at all. So we felt that yes, there's a controversial angle, but it's a story that's waiting to be told, and that was a conviction we went with.
How much of a cricket fan you are in personal life?
I am a cricket fan, not a fanatical fan. I'm not someone who follows every match. A lot of my friends do that. I would say that I was pretty fanatical about it back in the day in the 90s when I was in school, and that's when I saw these players. Azhar Bhai, Kapil Dev, Sachin, and I used to follow it pretty closely. I think after that, it's not that I've gotten away from the sport. I do watch it, but because of being busy and stuff, it's kind of faded away from me. But that's one of the reasons why I did this film, because I was very, very, following the sport and the players very closely back in the day in the 90s. So for me, there was a big, point of relevance, and I could relate to everyone. I could relate to the story because I had followed it. At the same time, I felt like a very jilted fan when all these players were put in the dock. Azarbai being one of them, and I felt bad, and I felt that the sport that I've admired so much suddenly it's gone to its darkest phase.
What are your fond memories of Mohammad Azharuddin?
Fond memories, just his style, his charisma, his charm, the way he stepped in the field, the way he played all his shots. He was the only guy who could, drive a ball right off the side, towards the leg side. He was very, very unconventional in his form. Only he had that particular form. Otherwise, a lot of people were textbook. No one could really ape his form. And that is why I found that a very unique kind of person. He's a very unique person. He's a very unique batsman, a fielder, one of the best fielders of his time.
Right.
And I think, definitely all these things.
What were the things that you kept in your mind, when you were noticing him? You obviously spent a lot of time with him, training under him for the shots, especially that he played. So what are the things that you have noticed and that will always stay in your mind that maybe the general public doesn't know?
He's very punctual for one. I like being punctual, and he's very punctual because I remember when we were playing here in Andheri, Infinity on top. There's one turf, it's an Astro turf, so we had converted to that into nets. So we used to travel from Bandra, and I used to travel at around 8 in the morning. But he used to be there at sharp 9 o'clock when the training used to start, and there was no day when he was late. Apart from that, he's very grounded, extremely grounded.
His scholar style?
He's always got a scholar up, and that also the story behind it because he used to get sunburnt and he started putting it up. It was never a style statement.
Okay.
It became a style statement after he put it up, but that was for practical reasons because the sun used to be very harsh on his neck. Apart from that, very professional, very down to earth, very grounded, extreme amount of patience. When I got down to speaking to him about the match fixing, about the controversy, everything was snatched away from him when he was at his peak. And for 12 years, he was just fighting the court case. Still, of course, 10 years after that, after a decade, he got into politics. But a lot of patience to actually handle that after being the captain of the team and then being through this very dark phase in his life, 10 years, it's pretty tough.
Talking about Azhar's life, what was your family's reaction when they saw the film? What was their reaction?
They think it's one of my best. Everyone in my family, friends, and they're very critical. They wouldn't even think for a second before ripping off any of my films if they didn't like it. So they are my harshest critics, and they really like the film. They really like the performance. They put the performance up there, one of my best performances, because just the fact that not my wife obviously, not my even my friends, some of them have seen Azharbai, but my dad, a lot of his cousins, everyone has seen and followed Azharuddin very closely, and they say that God, you in this film you kind of became him, and they really enjoyed the film.
There are also other biopics coming on Sachin and Dhoni. Which one are you excited on?
I would say both, because any film that deals with anyone's life that's interesting, achievers, it could be controversial or inspirational, or any of these stories. I think both. Of course, Sachin is coming out now, I believe, sooner.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, and that's more docudrama, which I like, because that's very interesting to see. It's not a Bollywood film. It's very interesting to see how that will be. Have all the facts. Of course, the good thing about docudrama, you don't distort too much. In a Bollywood film, you end up distorting stuff with songs and with, in a way we have also done that in a film like Azhar. But it's nice to see Sachin's take in his docudrama.
And who's your favorite cricketer?
It will be Sachin, Azharbai, Kapil Dev, Ganguly.
And from the young lot?
I would say Virat.
Okay. Talking about Azhar's life, how open he was when you were training under him? जब कंट्रोवर्सी की बात करें, मैच फिक्सिंग की बात करें, उन्होंने कितनी अपनी ज़िंदगी को खुली किताब की तरह आपके सामने रखी? He was open to it, और वो थोड़े बैक सीट पे थे?
You know, I think it's human nature to feel a bit guarded in the beginning when you've been through such a traumatic experience for 12 years. जब मैं उनसे पहले मिला था तो वो बहुत गार्डेड थे इस चीज़ को लेकर. मैंने कुछ 100 क्वेश्चंस प्रिपेयर किए थे उनके लिए, उनके गेम को लेकर, उनकी पर्सनल लाइफ को लेकर. So all these things were asked very early on when I met him last year, and I think aista he opened up. He was not very comfortable talking about a lot of things, but when we got to know each other, nets pe practice karke, I think we got pretty close, and then he started opening up and sharing more about things, and that gave me a perspective to his life, because there's a life that people, you know, that you perceive on screen in front of the media, that actually is not the real person. The real person is behind closed doors, the way they interact with their family, friends, close ones, loved ones. So that's when I got to know the real Azharuddin, and I could incorporate a lot of that in the film.
And how did he react when he got to know that you were doing the film?
I don't know if to ask him. I was not there when he reacted. I hope he reacted positively. That's what he says in interviews. But I know how he reacted after he saw the film. His whole family called me up. He called me up.
You?
Yeah, he called me up. I was with him in Hyderabad the day they had the screening, and then his mom and dad saw it. So it was a very emotional moment for everyone, and I got a lot of calls. His son called me, a lot of his cousins called me and said that, you know, we loved the film, we loved the way you played Azhar, you know. You completely became Azhar for those 2 hours. So that was a relief for me, because it was a responsibility on my shoulders and the entire audience. We felt that, you know, we should do justice to this film, because we worked, obviously Azhar has given us, you know, this opportunity. So I think that was a victory for us when we heard from his family that they were happy.
There were a lot of controversy, especially related to his personal life. There were rumors that Sangeeta had called him after 5 years. You know. So, being from the Bollywood fraternity, did you get any calls regarding the storyline or things to be modified? Because there were a lot of rumors.
I didn't get any direct calls, but I know a lot of the makers got a lot of calls, not to change things, but just to know what exactly is in the film, because it is being perceived as a very controversial film. So how far have we gone, what have we shown in the film, these are the questions that were asked, but I don't know the details about who called up. Also the bit about Sangeeta, about her being a bit annoyed about things in the film. For the promos was wrong, because when this news came out, Azhar Bhai was with me, and he actually said that this is baseless, because he had got the green light from everyone in the family. Otherwise the film wouldn't have been made.
Right.
And I think he was more than himself. He was very particular about his 2 wives, Noreen and Sangeeta, how they felt about things. If they had a problem, then he would tell us, and you know, those things would be clear. But they didn't have a problem.
Honestly, what is your opinion about Azhar and the controversy? Was he wrong or he got lucky?
You know, for me as a cricket fan, I was very jilted when, you know, a lot of cricketers' names were taken. But I didn't want to jump the gun. I didn't want to play, you know, execution in the beginning and say that, you know, everyone has wronged me, has done this, you know, against the sport. I waited for the court verdict, and it played out for really long, for a decade.
Right.
And you know, this is the problem that a lot of people have when it comes to celebrities, sports people, you know, around the world. We've seen this, that we actually end up concluding a court case and saying that someone is guilty. It's become fashionable. I think there's a certain cynicism with everyone these days. They like bashing someone up for something that they
And
probably
trolling
haven't
them.
done. And trolling them. So as one of the pillars of our constitution and in our country, I would say the judicial system is extremely important. It does something. Obviously, there's a lot of work done. It's a studied decision for the past, you know, 10 years when they, you know, the court case is on for so long. And I completely go with the court case when they say that they recruited him.
Personally talking about your life, you have gone through varied emotions. When you were about to start the promotion of this film, your mother passed away.
Yeah.
Your son was detected cancer. So who was your emotional support during that period?
I think my family, friends, God. Obviously my son was diagnosed 2 years back, so he's got out of it, and he fought it really hard for the first 7 months, and then it was just the remission phase. My mom was diagnosed last year in November, so that was tough on all of us when there were these things that were fading away about my son's illness, and he was okay. Suddenly there was this cancer about my mom's thing, and it was pretty tough. But I guess we hope for the best, but things obviously didn't go our way or her way, and I think that's something you gotta I guess accept, and I guess we all accepted it in a way.
How has that period changed you as a person? How do you look at life now?
I know how my son's cancer changed me. I don't really know for certain how my mom's death has. I think it's something that when I get down to introspecting it, because the fact that when she passed away, I hurled myself into work, into the film, and I started promoting it, and I started doing everything for the film. So I've not really had time to grieve in that sense, or introspect how it's changed me. But I guess it definitely has. I think any kind of traumatic incident, deaths, the kind of diagnosis, my son, everything changes you in a way. But for whatever reasons, I always try to take something positive away from it, and that's what I've done for my son's cancer. For my mom, she was suffering, so that's the kind of positivity that I think she's in a place that's more peaceful now.
You've always said that you want to reinvent yourself. When you entered the industry, you got this serial killer tag on you. But you have tried doing different films, whether it is the last films that you have done, but somehow they haven't clicked at the box office. How do you look at them, and feeling with other things are changing?
I've done films which have a departure in the others, away from the image that I had. I would say yes, that tag was very appropriate for the first 5 years when I was doing films that had the erotic thriller element, and then there was this tag given to me. But after that, I did a Shanghai, I did a Once Upon a Time Mumbai, I did Avarapan, a whole lot of films, Dirty Picture. So all these films were a departure from it. But I don't know, it's just very fashionable to label someone. I think it becomes certain, I guess it's out of, habitual for people to kind of tag people, even the media does it. But I understand that fans come in to watch a film for something more than that. They obviously get a lot out of the film. They look for something else. They don't really come to see someone's image in a cinema hall. So it's beyond that, and it has been for the past 4-5 years. And some people still choose to use that out of just boxing up stuff, or maybe it makes a great PR peg in the media. So I just take it with a pinch of salt. I guess it's more amusing than it doesn't sadden me, or doesn't, because I know I'm getting the appreciation from my fans. It gives me I know I'm getting the appreciation from my fans. So that's what I look out for.
Were you disappointed when Hamari Adhuri Kahani didn't do well? Because a lot of people like the film.
I get disappointed when any film doesn't do well. So it's not about a particular film. But I understand that when a film doesn't do well, there's something inherently where, something went wrong with the film, with the way we made it. A lot of things, a lot of probabilities are there. You can't actually sit down and think about everything. Sometimes most of the things are wrong. So you just have to dust yourself after that and move on.
You have always stayed away from camps apart from Hut Camp. You don't socialize much. We don't see you in regular parties. Why is that so?
It choose to be that way. I've never really been part of the social circuit in the film industry. I don't enjoy it. That's not my thing. I like to compartmentalize my life. I never wanted to be an actor. So when I got into this profession, I gave it everything. And there's only as much of films as I can handle. There's of course work whenever there is the promotions or on a film set shooting a film. But beyond that, I have, I guess, another life, which is I like time off in the Maharashtra, and I don't like to constantly be in that zone. So that's a decision I've made, and that is something I abide by, and there's nothing that can change that.
Your book, The Kiss of Life, got good support from the industry.
Yeah.
Bachchan Saab wrote a note for you.
Yes.
Salman tweeted, Shah Rukh tweeted about it.
Yeah.
So how does it feel when industry comes forward and
Oh, it
supports?
feels great. I just, it's very, very heartening to know that everyone really supported the book and the initiative the way we wanted to. Obviously, the book was setting out to do a lot of things, and it got support from all these people. And I couldn't thank them enough after all that support. So it was very heartening.
What was more difficult, cricket or acting?
I would say this cricket was difficult because getting close to the technicality of the way Azhar Bhai plays was close to impossible. Of actually imbibing 30 years of experience in 3 months, that is impossible. But it's something that we had set out to do, and without that, the film wouldn't have been made. So we had to push ourselves. I had to push myself to the limits.
And do you think betting should be made legal in India? Do you support that?
I think yes, because there is certain transparency if you legalize things. That's with most things, and then you can actually put a number on it. Right now, there's no number on it. There's no check on it. So if things are legalized, then you have a certain check.
Your sister Alia Bhatt is doing really well. She's going out and doing movies that are different, which most of actors shy away from doing it.
Yeah.
And she's taking that risk. How does it feel as a brother?
It's great. I think even the present film Udta Punjab, she's really got into a role or character which is quite other than what she's been playing on screen, and that's commendable. I again am someone who's always taking those risks. I did it in Shanghai, and there's a certain audience that appreciates that, and I think it's great that she's getting out of her comfort zone in an industry that is so obsessed with just the glamorous roles. I think it's very important for actresses to step out of the comfort zone and get into a quote unquote character and play something which is different than what they have been doing before.
What do you want to say the recent trend that has taken over on social media, trolling people? What do you have to say about it?
I find it very amusing. Someone who actually has that much time to vent out this, it just shows their state of mind. That either they have a lot of time or they're very angry with themselves. They're definitely not angry with you. I don't understand how someone could be that angry with you and take it so personally. They're frustrated on a level with their own lives. If they actually sit down and start trolling you for the whole day, there's something it's definitely deranged. But we live in cynical times. It's become very, very fashionable to pull someone down, to pull someone's film down, to pull a particular person down. And that for some reason gives people a bogus sense of power. It kind of equates the power game and say that it wasn't that great, and that makes them feel in a way imbibed with that power. So that, I don't know, I just find it laughable.
The recent controversy, Kamna and Ranbir controversy, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but
I've been asked this question. I've not been following it, so my.
But you have worked with Kamna.
Yes, I have.
And she has gone all out to give her stand to this entire controversy.
Yeah.
So looking at her, being a female and coming out in the industry so strong, what is your take on the entire thing?
Again, on the entire thing, I don't know. I can talk about Kamna. She's a very strong girl. She's got her head on her shoulders. She's very professional. That's the girl I know. I don't know about the controversy, so I would be extremely, my viewpoint would be ignorant and would be wrong, because I've not even read a single article about what's been happening.
Right. We'll quickly play a small rapid fire round with you, and I want a quick answers from you. Okay? Which film is close to your heart, Murder or Once Upon a Time in Mumbai?
I would say Murder.
Okay. Kissing Nargis Fakhri or Malika Sherawat, which was better?
Nargis Fakhri.
Winning an Oscar award, an international recognition, or national award?
National award.
Okay. If you could go back and erase one incident from your life, what would it be?
I guess my son's diagnosis.
Okay. An actress you haven't worked before and you think you can have a sizzling chemistry with?
There are lots of them. I would say someone like Deepika.
Okay. A song that describes you the most?
A song that describes you the most. I don't know, like
Okay. Weirdest rumor that you have heard about yourself?
There haven't been many rumors. There haven't been many. That's what the press keeps asking me. Why don't we hear enough gossip about you? I said, why are you upset over the reason that there's no gossip about me? So no, there unfortunately no rumors.
Okay. Which Khan you want to work with first? Shah Rukh, Salman, or Amir Khan?
I think Salman.
And what would you be like to be born as in your next life? Cricketer or an actor?
Cricketer. I've been an actor in this life, so I'll try something new. That's all.
Talking about Salman Khan, there were rumors that you're doing a film with him, and I think you're producing a film. How much?
No,
of it-
that's incorrect. I'm not doing a film with him, but there definitely are plans for a production sometime soon. Around the corner, maybe early end of the year or early next year.
What are the upcoming projects you want to share with the group?
Right now, there's only Raz 4 which is releasing in September, and I will be making announcements very shortly in the next 2 months for the next couple of projects.
I think the first poster was
Yes,
out.
there's the first
recently.
motion poster and the second one that was released, and we did a photo shoot actually 2 days back for all the main layouts.
The
That'll be out
response
soon.
has been great.
Yeah.
So,
Fingers crossed.
okay. Any message to the fans last?
Just others in the theatre, so please enjoy it. It's a great film. It's extremely entertaining. So hope you guys catch it next week. And my book is releasing again. We have a second release in Mumbai, which is on the 30th. So there will be another live chat then. So I'll see you guys. And post that, there'll be promotions on before September. So I'll see you in the promotions, Brass.
Lastly, the film Sarabji, it is releasing today. It's
Yes.
a biopic. Do you think it will have an effect on your film?
Films. If your film is good, if there's certain truth to it, and the audience is liking it, then I think there's place for a whole lot of films on a Friday, on the next Friday. If people are liking the film, the word of mouth is strong. That trickles into the second week also. So I don't see it really denting our business because the word of mouth is strong. So let's see where it goes from there.
Thank you, Imran. Thanks for taking out time,
Thank
and
you.
it was pleasure talking to you.
Cheers.
Thank you. It was Imran Hashmi. I hope you liked the chat.
See you guys.